that at this very moment you're going through a lot? You know, you've had many sleepless nights, but probably last night was the toughest.
Yes, my brother, indeed. You know, these things, you know, it shocked us. As much as we were looking for him, but we never thought that wherever he is, he's no more. You know, we hoped we will see him alive, vibrant as he was. But after receiving the news on Friday and yesterday, confirming exactly which body, we were devastated. I didn't sleep.
Maybe just take me back to when and how he disappeared.
Because my son was a person who loved social media. Every day he will post. When he goes to restaurant eating, he will post. And now it was about I think a month or so, without him being on social media. And then the family raised alarm to say, no. Can we find out where is he? Because we know what type of a person he is. He's no longer on social media because we used to communicate on social media. I then called the mother, who is staying alone, and Katlego was staying with the grandmother, to ask if she had seen Katlego any time. He said no. It has been quite a while. I said, please go home and find out if they are okay. She went home and then she found the grandmother of Katlego, who also didn't see Katlego for a month and few days. I then asked her to go to the police station to open a missing case report, which she did, and, you know, we were hoping that he's still alive.
Yeah. Which month was this?
We realized in April last year, 2022, that my son is no longer active on social media. And then when the mother went to the grandmother, it was like she last saw Katlego late February or beginning of March. Yeah.
Who did he stay with? I mean, you speak about him disappearing and you guys not seeing him on social media. Who was he staying with at the time?
He was staying with the grandmother, but sometimes, you know, he would ask to go and maybe see friends, sleep over, and then come back. But he always kept contact with the grandmother when he's away.
Was this in Bloemfontein?
Bloemfontein, yes.
Okay. So when you searched for him, what did, you know, his friends and those who were close to him at the time tell you?
The mother did some searching with her sister, which is Katlego's aunt, and they didn't get any lead at all. They said they even went to the local mortuaries to look for him. There was no sign of him.
Was he employed?
No, he had just lost his job. He was still unemployed by the time he disappeared.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of, you know, now not finding leads, were the posters sent out? You know, what did you try to do at the time, you know, to just raise alarm that this person was nowhere to be found?
I used social media, especially asking people from Bloemfontein to help me look for him. But in my mind, deep down in my mind, I didn't think that my son was no more. And I know that he's a popular boy because he is a soccer fanatic. And then where he was staying at Ipupeng, you know, as you know, Bloemfontein, City of Roses, the Bloemfontein Celtic, he was a branch member there. I knew that if he's around, because Bloemfontein is our home, I will know quick. Somebody will tell me to say, we saw him or this or that. But that didn't happen. People searched. They kept on calling me to ask me if I have heard anything, but that was nothing.
Did he have any links to anybody maybe that worked at the Mangaung prison or that vicinity?
Not at all. From my knowledge, not at all. He was just a soccer fanatic, somebody who liked vibes, going out with friends. He was just a low-life kind of a boy.
Mm-hmm. And when At what point did you realize that this was getting serious and that you were not finding him?
You know, knowing him, I thought maybe where he is, he got employed somewhere. He just want to come back, maybe buying a car to surprise us, because I know he was somebody who liked to do things and then come up with surprises. We really never take this serious as somebody whom we can be told that he's no more. No.
Was it in his nature to disappear?
Not really, because wherever he go, he will tell the grandmother that I'm with friends, we are going this and that. Sometimes he will even maybe communicate with his mother, then we would know where he is. That is why when they told me that it has been a month and few days, I got worried as a parent.
Mm. Were there any leads from police maybe to say this is what we're finding, this is what we're hearing? Were you able to get any assistance from the police?
Nothing at all. Nothing. We never got anything.
Did you ever hope that you'd find him?
Yes. All the family, you know, in our heart, we just, even when the mother got a call for DNA test, I panicked, but my family said no, it can't be. Where katlego is, he's still alive. We never thought of this.
Talk to me about that phone call. Where did it come from?
She got a phone call from the police station to say they want to conduct a DNA test, but they didn't give her more information. DNA test against who? Where is the body? They just said they want to do DNA test. She called me. I said, no, do it. For me, I just told her it's just for formalities, because, you know, we open a missing person report. Maybe there is a body somewhere. They just want to see if it is our son, but I don't believe that it is our son. Then she did the test, and then she called me 2 days later to say she just received another call from Pretoria saying the tests were not properly done. They are driving from Pretoria to Bloemfontein to conduct other tests with her. Then we spoke. I said, okay, it's fine. Then they did the test. Then Friday morning, she called me saying she just received another call from the police that they are coming to see her at 3 p.m. Then I said, okay. And then she started panicking. I started panicking, because we just spoke and said if it was a negative one, they would just give a call to say, no, it wasn't. Then 3 p.m. they came to give her the report that the DNA tests were positive, that they will be allowed to see the body on Saturday, which is yesterday. But still they didn't tell which body. Up until yesterday morning, when the family now called the police to say, we don't understand. It's positive, but against which body? You said you'll come and fetch us to see the body. Now they were saying where the body is kept, the place is closed on Saturdays. But later on, they now revealed the true story, that body that was allegedly burned in a prison, it was the body of our son.
How did that make you feel?
I felt dead for a moment, you know. It was like I can wake up and be told I was dreaming. Because looking at his picture, knowing the kind of a person he was, a friendly boy, a person who makes friends easily with people, it devastated me. I tried to call the mother couldn't talk. The mother is in a shock.
Was she able to then ultimately go and identify the body?
No. We are going there on Monday to start the process, and also to seek answers, because we want answers. We are not happy about how our son died. We want answers. Yeah.
Have the police so far given you clarity on how he may have died? Because reports say that the autopsy report revealed that he died of blunt trauma. Have the police told you what exactly happened and how he may have died?
Not at all. Because from what I heard from the family in Bloemfontein, they said somebody said my son collapsed in town. The ambulance took him to the hospital. He died there, then took him to government mortuary. But that one, I didn't believe it the very first time I heard it. Because I knew that if my son was anywhere in town, I would have known, because people were looking for him. Bloemfontein people were looking for him. Because he's known in Bloemfontein. So that made me angry. To say there is a cover-up somewhere. And we need answers.
So having known or having heard what happened in the Mangaung prison, what do you think could have happened?
Since this matter is under investigation, but my own analysis of this, it looks like they kidnapped my son long before. Kept him somewhere, killed him, and kept him there dead, so that the body can decompose. And maybe some signs in the body can disappear. Then they bent him. It looks like this was a mastermind plan that was done long before we had the news.
Have you been following the Thabo Bester story?
For me, not really, because for me, it sounded like something which is far. I was only following when they arrested him in Tanzania. But as to when they started burning the body, this and that, I did not. I did not even think that story will ever come close to me.
So you don't know this Thabo Bester and Dr. Nandipha Makutuman?
Not at all. I don't know them.
So with the process now unfolding, what do you think will be the next step for you? Because you're telling us right now that you're seeking answers. This was your firstborn child that died so mysteriously. What will that search for answers look like for you?
Just to go to the police, get the answers, or maybe seeking help from the top legal teams to help us go through this. Because I don't think we are in the right frame of mind to even think about laying him to rest before something is happening. The state need to come on board here, because there is a foul play here. If you can look at it, there are members of the prison, hierarchy members of the prison who were involved. We need the state to come to party. We need the truth. We need to clean our country, because our country is in a mess.
Is that why you said in your tweet yesterday that you were failed by the government?
Yes, the government is failing us dismally, because people come and do as they wish and get away with it. And now the victims, we are the ones suffering. And this must end. I'm not saying my family is special. Yes, they are special to me, but it happened to other people. But enough is enough. Yeah.
Did you ever imagine that your son's life would end in such a tragic manner, and that, his body will ultimately be violated in this brazen prison escape?
Every time when I pray to God, our covenant is that I will never bury any of my children. They will live up until I go before them. They will bury me. I will never shed a tear when my child is gone. But here it is. It is an unbelievable thing. It is a shocking thing. It is unacceptable. It shouldn't have been like this.
Talk to us about the kind of person that he was. You told us that, he was a soccer fanatic. He loved the Bloemfontein Celtics.
Yes, every time when Bloemfontein Celtic play, before it got sold, he will post on social media what he's wearing going to the stadium. Even after the game, they will sing whether the team has won or lost. They will sing, he will post. Then on Monday, it will be the results of the team, talking about soccer, going out with friends. Wherever he is, he will post wherever they are. Whenever he's having lunch or breakfast, he will post on social media. I remember even one day, I spoke to him. I said, stop posting when you are having food, because there is somebody out there who doesn't have the food that you are eating. So it's like you are boasting. Stop that. And then, he apologized to me. He was just a humble boy. and easy to go with a person. You can meet him now, then you'll be friends as if you met a long time ago. He was just that type of a person. Somebody that I never thought I would get a call to say, your son fought with somebody, he's injured, this and that. No. He was just a humble boy. Yeah.
Your fondest memories, I understand you say he lived in Bloemfontein. So you are based here in Gauteng and obviously would not be in a position to see or even speak to him every day. But talk to us about what you loved about him and what you'll just remember most about him.
My story with him is very long because we had him when I was young. We never got married with the mother. We lost touch. We lost touch when the mother was 2 months pregnant. And in my heart, it was bad because I was still at school. And then I just told myself, when I'm finishing school and even when I start working, I'm going to look for my son. Even the relationships that I had previously, everyone I will be in relationship with, I will tell him about katlego, that I have a son somewhere, that I must look for him when I'm ready. So I started working, then started looking for him, and I found him 2018. That was the happiest time of my life, finding my own flesh, my firstborn. I remember we went home. He asked to go with his friend. We went to my parents' house in Botshabelo, 50 kilometers away from Bloemfontein. We took pictures. We stayed there because I don't have parents anymore. It was me, my brother, him, and his friend. We stayed there the whole weekend. Sometimes when I go home with my wife, we will call him, take him with, go home with him. He was just a fun boy to be with. He loved my wife loved him. They got along very well. I was happy. But because he was away, I missed that moment to bond more with him. Yeah.
And that moment now taken away from you.
That is why I say, to me, really, it's like it killed me. If you can ask me, I died on Friday when I heard that my son is no more. My inner part died with him.
How did you break the news to your other children?
I called them, we sat down. I told them, but they didn't even expect that Thabo Besta's name will be mentioned when I'm telling them about our son's passing and their elder brother's passing. They were just devastated. They are so angry. Even my younger one couldn't even talk. He kept on crying. Yeah.
The road to recovery?
Only God knows.
If you had an opportunity to speak to Thabo Besta and Dr. Nandi at this moment, what would you say to them?
My message to them is one. I will not ask them what has happened. I will just ask them to repent and seek God. Because I cannot talk bad to them. I cannot talk bad about the situation. But they only have two choices. To repent. I will just ask them to repent and seek God. Because I cannot talk bad to them. I cannot talk bad about the situation. But they only have two choices. To repent from all these things they are doing, or to face the wrath of the God. God will punish them if they don't repent. Because this is too much now.
We're told by the police or by authorities that Dr. Nandipha had approached the courts to get the body. She's claimed in court documents that she was the customary wife of Thabo Besta, who was then presumed to be, your son, and that ultimately the plan was to cremate his body. How would you have received that your son had been cremated if it had happened?
It will be more disappointing than it is now. But thanks to God, because God intervened. God knows our heart. God knows how we love this boy. God knows how we wanted to have more time with him, to bond more, how I wanted to see him getting married, on the day, growing, having, achieving in life. So I think God intervened that even plan of Dr. Nandipha didn't materialize.
Did he have any children?
Yes, he had 2 kids, even though, it was, he had 2 kids, a girl and a boy. Because I know he used to send me pictures of him holding them. And we'll talk about them, that the boy looks like the father, the boy is handsome like the grandfather, and the father having, that's only what is left of him, things that we can remember him with. Yeah.
How old was he?
He was going to turn 32 on the 18th of May this year.
Are you prepared for that journey to Bloemfontein? To seeing your son's remains, even though they're burned beyond recognition?
I am. And I'm somebody who is very sensitive, who, I didn't want to see any remains. But this one, no matter the state they are in, I want to see them. At least to have some sort of closure, even though on the outer part, this is not a closure, because the police claims, now we know, it's a form of closure to the family. It's not a closure. It's now opening a fresh wound that was never there. Because it will be a closure the day we know the truth, the day the state take ownership of this and come to the party.
You said legal advice you're seeking. Are you going to sue?
Yes.
Who?
The state. The correctional services. The government mortuary, if he was there. How didn't we know about missing people when we had a missing report that somebody can just come like that and take the body? If that was the case. If not the case, we need the truth. Because I don't believe the story of the government mortuary, this and that. But anyhow, we need the truth.
And comforting your children. How are you going to comfort them going forward?
My brother is tough. I'm praying to God to give me strength. Because sometimes as I'm sitting trying to do something, I just burst into tears instead of being strong for them. I'm just relying on God to help us. Because this is tough. We never expected this to happen.
I want to thank you so much for your time.